Hello everyone, we are here once again with Sanjeev Gupta CPA. Sanjeev ji, good morning, how are you?
Good morning, good morning. Good morning to our listeners.
So very chilly morning. But I wanted to ask you, we have our next webinar on foreign income and asset reporting coming up. So if you can kind of give us a quick update as to what has happened in the last couple of years and why should people join us on that webinar?
Yes, so just wanted to let all the people who are watching me and listening to me, a lot of things when we talk about foreign income, foreign asset reporting requirements, people have become knowledgeable. They know things are there which needs to be reported. For example, bank accounts, mutual funds, uh, uh, like insurance policies, stocks, and other things. But the problem is coming is they know they have to report. They are reporting it, but they are not reporting it properly. So complexities are arising in areas of non-reporting of those assets in a proper manner, and IRS is looking into this properly because they have issues with relation to reporting the basis for those activities. So we are looking at those things closely. So that's why we have this webinar where we're going to go through the elements of different asset reporting on the FBAR form, FATCA form 8938, foreign asset reporting requirements of companies having ownership in those companies 5471, 5472, and also guilty taxes. That's being a part of the plan, Biden tax plan, and also part of the President Trump plan. Guilty taxes is becoming huge, enormous, and people, like I said, are confused with respect to how to compute a 10% tax on the foreign income reporting, foreign income of the foreign companies they have ownership in. On top of it, there is a controlled foreign corporation (CFC), where people have to report under 5471. Different kinds of methods of reporting are there. How to report those on different forms. Uh, for FATCA form 8938 and FBAR form, there is differentiation of foreign financial asset reporting in those two forms. People get confused on that. They are not looking at a reconciliation of those two forms. For example, you have mutual fund in, let's say you have a foreign mutual fund. On foreign mutual fund, you have to report on FBAR, but foreign mutual fund, you have to also report on it on 8938. But the income from the foreign mutual fund will be reporting on the form 8621. So that's not being reportable. Like I said, people are confused, so they're not able to report properly. And a lot of people are doing online reporting, online tax preparation, and they are not properly looking at what they're reporting. And so unnecessary information is also being given, uh, which might hurt them in the future. So it's important for all of you to attend the webinar to understand all this asset which needs to be reported, the different valuation to be done for reporting those assets, the income to be reported from those assets, and what are not reportable. For example, the immovable properties are not to be listed. The personal assets like jewelry and coins and other things are not reportable on those forms. So what things we don't need to report, and what steps we have to take in case of non-reporting foreign asset and foreign income, how to become compliant by using amnesty programs, what is the detail of those programs. We have to cover all those, and also we have those questions that we go through it. We always get a lot of questions on those foreign income, foreign asset reporting requirements. It's a way of interacting with me on that webinar. So yes, it's an important discussion that we can have on the webinar.
So there you go, friends. If you have not yet registered, just head over to sanjeevcpa.com and register for that webinar. It's coming up in just a couple of weeks, so you will get to hear all the things about FBAR from Sanjeev. And after the webinar, Sanjeev will take your questions and answer them live for you on the webinar. Now, Sanjeev ji, there are many people out here who probably filed their FBAR in previous years, or maybe there are people who haven't really filed the FBAR. Now, if somebody, let's say, living in Texas or New York or New Jersey, can your firm help them, or do you guys only help people living in California?
Oh, we have been helping people all across the US. We can do from California, we're in the Bay Area, we can do filing for them from here. FR forms 8938, all the foreign account reporting forms that we can do here. In fact, my firm has been helping lot of individuals based in different states in becoming compliant with respect to non-reporting of foreign asset and foreign income in prior years. We have done at least 2,000 plus amnesty programs for a lot of people. So yeah, we can definitely help in any state you are in. We can help those people from here.
Now, in addition to that, every now and then I see people who have, let's say, either moved out of the country or perhaps they got stuck in whatever country they were in due to COVID, but they still have, obviously, they earn income there, they have assets there. So people who are overseas, what should they do? Can you file on their behalf
Yes,
in the US?
like I said, even all across outside US, we can always same thing. We can do it from here. There are a lot of expats who have gone back to India or other foreign countries. We help them in reporting those foreign income foreign asset, because remember, the foreign income foreign asset reporting requirements are meant for everybody, everyone who are US resident alien or who is US citizens settled whether in US or outside US. You have to report those foreign income foreign asset reporting, and you have to report also report your domestic income, domestic filing. For example, in India, if you are in India, US citizens settled in India, you have to report there also that income. But here also you have to report that income.
So there you go, friends. Now, Sanjeev ji, I know some people, always wonder like, oh, so what? What's a big deal? So in maybe in a minute or so, if you can quickly just explain that if somebody is not filing their FBAR, if they have to, are there any consequences for it, and how bad they are?
Yes, the consequences are very, very serious. I just don't want to go. The intention is not to instill any fear in the mind of the people, but there are civil consequences and there are criminal consequences. The civil consequences can go up to 50% of the value of a total foreign asset, and criminal consequences can go up to $250,000 or 5 years in jail. So there are serious consequences of doing it. The problem happens here is people get to know these things when they do online, or they come to know from their friends, or when they transfer money from India or from outside countries, and they research on it. What's the best way to transfer other things? They found out all this FBAR reporting, other things. They lose their night sleep. In fact, there's so much stress in their life because of this non-reporting things. So it's always better to understand, and there are still ways to do it. But you have to understand this, you have to know about it, and that's why we have this webinar.
So there you go, friends. Once again, it's absolutely free, doesn't cost you anything. You get to ask your questions to Sanjeev ji as well. On the webinar, all you have to do is just go register, head to sanjeevcpa.com and register for that webinar. So Sanjeev ji, thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you on the webinar.
Thank you.